Today, we have the privilege of speaking with an exceptional leader who has played a pivotal role in shaping the success story of one of Pakistan's most dynamic business groups. Muhammad Faisal, CEO of Lucky Motor Corporation, has been instrumental in the diversification of the YBG or Lucky Group, a journey that has seen the conglomerate evolve from its roots in cement and textiles to becoming a powerhouse in the automotive and electronics manufacturing industry. With over 25 years of leadership experience, Faisal has spearheaded transformational projects, from establishing cement plants internationally to leading the groundbreaking entry of Lucky into Pakistan's automotive sector. Under his stewardship, Lucky Motor Corporation introduced globally renowned brands like Kia, Peugeot, and Samsung, setting new benchmarks for innovation, sustainability, and operational excellence. Faisal's contributions have earned him prestigious accolades, including the Business Enabler Award from the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan in 2023 and the Bronze Jubilee Members Recognition Award in 2024. A mentor and visionary leader, Faisal continues to inspire teams to reach new heights. We're thrilled to dive into this incredible journey and explore the lessons he has learned along the way. Welcome, Muhammad Faisal. It's so lovely to be here, and thank you so much for giving us this opportunity. So you've had such a remarkable journey across diverse industries. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it and the risks that you have taken to do what you've done? What I'd like to know is what has been instrumental in your success?
Okay, thanks for your question. I would say winning mindset.
Okay.
An attitude of doing things with passion.
Right.
Fearlessness, and I would say my risk appetite. These are the four things which have been driving me, and these are instrumental to my success. I love doing things which are difficult and people refrain from because they are scared of trying new, unconventional, and difficult things. Mm-hmm. I actually welcome obstacles and difficulties and get bored with norm and routine. So my fearless approach to leadership is evident from the fact that I chose to do a greenfield project of Lucky Motor Corporation in the shortest possible time, in a record time, under administration.
That is, that's inspiring. But you know, when you talk about the risk-taking appetite, yes. You have to be born like Faisal to have that risk-taking appetite. What did you do as a young man that brought these qualities in you?
So to be very frank, I was an introvert person in my young age when I was a kid. The thing which gave me confidence in the early age of my career, I would say, was I secured first position in my class 10th examination in Karachi board. Mm-hmm. That was a time when I gained confidence. I did not believe in myself till that time when I secured position. After that, I got confidence that I can do something. Mm-hmm. And choosing a field which was chartered accountancy, at that point I was considered to be one of the difficult career paths.
Yes.
The pass ratio was 1 to 2%. So if 100 people appear, 1 or 2 people will pass. And I chose to do that difficult thing because a mentor of mine encouraged me to do that because he found my acumen. I was good with numbers. So he thought I will excel in chartered accountancy. Right. And I chose that path. And I gained more confidence because I qualified within 4 years of articles. And what you do is when you're part of the audit firm, you are exposed to carry out audits of large organizations like PIE, like K Electric, and I would say not only public sector, large scale organization, but also private sector or manufacturer or multinational companies. So I was fortunate to have been exposed to those things in early age of my career. Though in audits you don't become risk taker, you become risk averse. But my personality is such that I am somebody who likes risk taking as opposed to being risk averse. And I kept changing, like I never settled to be a mediocre person. I always aspired something.
Excelling in whatever you do.
Yeah. So I didn't want to settle on something which I think will be ordinary. It's not out of arrogance, out of humility, obviously. But I always wanted to do something which people think 1,000 times to do.
Wow.
And this is how my personality. I was not born like this, but it got
You
polished.
trained yourself, you polished,
exactly.
you honed yourself.
So my true like risk, as opposed to risk averse, being risk taker is what I define myself. And since I got different opportunities of that sort, and people took chance on me. So when people took chance on me, they saw something in me, they saw some spark, they started giving me opportunities. And I'm kind of person who says no to them, like who says yes to them, who doesn't say no to opportunities. Irrespective of whether I know that subject, I'm well versed with that subject, or I have had experience of doing those things in the past, irrespective of that, I will take chance. I will say, yes, I will do it. People say, no, we can't do it. We can't jeopardize our career. We can't take chances. I say, okay, I will do it because I see opportunities.
Yeah.
And those opportunities actually give you kick, and then you outshine amongst the crowd.
Fantastic. You know, I already can imagine the young Faisal. And this is such an inspiring story for a lot of young people. And that's why we have these conversations, because we want to inspire the youth of Pakistan and the young leaders that you're not necessarily born with these qualities, but you really have to kind of face your fears.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit, with all this fantastic leadership journey, what was the most challenging thing that you faced as a leader?
As a leader. So I came to a point when I had to decide something critical for myself. And that was a make or break point for me.
Right.
A lot of people thought I'll be broken if I take this chance. And I thought I'll outshine because I had faith in the call that I was taking. And that was this project. So I was very well settled at Lucky Cement when I was Chief Strategy, Finance, Investment Officer. I had a glamorous job, and the job that people would dream of, that they would want to be
in that position, at that age.
At that particular age, and the kind of exposure I was having, I was in limelight, I would say. And that was the point when an opportunity came my way, and actually I conceived that opportunity for the group to set up an automotive plant in Pakistan in collaboration with Kia.
So just to be clear, when you say this project, you mean Lucky Motor Corporation,
which I'm part of as we speak. At that time, this was an opportunity. It was not a project done already. It was an opportunity, and there was a decision to be made whether we should pursue as a group this project or not.
Yeah.
And I was so convinced, not because I wanted to do this and I wanted a feather to my cap that, okay, I initiated it and I did it, because there was risk involved. Even if I had a motive of doing it, and if it would not have been a success story, it could have jeopardized my career. And not only my career, the person I'm dealing with, the sponsor who's putting in his hard-earned money in that project, just trusting me for that, I can't let him down.
Yeah.
So it was the first decision for myself, whether I should pursue myself or somebody else should take care of that project. So I conceived it. Now it was whether I will run it or somebody else will do it. I chose to do it myself because I believed in this project, and that was the critical decision for me. So stepping out of Lucky Cement and taking on the challenge of starting Lucky Motor Corporation as a greenfield project.
Wow.
Was, I would say, the most challenging aspect of my leadership journey. Starting a project of this size, which was a complex project, and a lot of things to be done, like acquiring a plot of land, having an environmental study conducted, setting up IT infrastructure, negotiating contract with equipment suppliers, setting up a state-of-the-art facility in the shortest record possible time, hiring the right people for the job and the project, selecting products and specifications, launching them in the market, and making sure that you have a complete 3S dealership network across Pakistan, robust dealership network to take care of your customers. It was not easy thing to do. And the important thing was everything was to be done within the shortest possible time to gain the first mover advantage.
Okay.
The first mover.
What was happening in the market then? Why?
So auto policy.
Why this urgency?
Yeah. So there was an auto policy announced by the government of Pakistan called Auto Policy 2016-2021.
Nice.
So the policy period started from July 2016 and was going to be finishing on the 30th of June 2021. So the concessions were aligned with the policy period.
Right.
So if we get late in the race,
You would miss this.
we will miss the opportunity, and if and as many models we are able to launch, we will have the concessionary duty available on all those models. So we were running against time, and whoever was going to launch first was going to capitalize on that opportunity big time.
Mm-hmm.
So the target which was given to me personally was, I want this project, I want the first mover, or not only first mover, but significant first mover advantage. So the sponsors committed $200 million of equity and not a single dollar on the project balance sheet. I would say it was the boldest move of sponsors. Having faith in the project, having trust and faith in me.
No, but you did build. I mean, you were standing out. You were like that shining star. You were in their face. You were taking risks. You were already doing the right things. So I'm sure that their trust was being
Yes.
placed in a trustworthy person.
Yes.
So go ahead.
So yeah. So, and I would also shed some light on that. I earned trust as well.
Yes.
So it was. So they trusted me for their hard-earned money, as significant as $200 million of equity, and I believe I was able to establish the credibility and the performance track record, which became the basis for them to trust me to this extent.
Wow.
So I had a lot of pressure on me. So I had no choice, because if somebody trusted you for their hard-earned money of $200 million of equity, and they did not have any experience of automotive in the past, and I was somebody in their group who had some automotive experience.
But you were good with numbers.
I was good with numbers, so they trusted me, and I had no choice but to deliver this project and live up to their expectation. And I would say I gained trust, and it was not easy thing to do. And you're only able to gain trust only when you have work ethics, good work ethics, you have credibility, and proven performance track record.
And faith, and not to look back.
Yes.
But बस आगे ही देखना है.
Exactly.
तो मुझे ये बताएं कि ये जो आपकी सक्सेस हुई है and इस organization के automotive industry में coming in completely, I'm sure it was a lot of shots in the dark. Was it because of a great strategy, luck, or a mix of both?
So frankly speaking, it was a mix of both.
Okay.
So strategy. So first of all, I would say I'm lucky. And I'm truly blessed to have been given these opportunities. So luck opened doors for me. But my approach, like putting in 100% effort, never doing things half-heartedly, ensured success when opportunities came my way.
Great points. So Lucky Group has undergone remarkable diversifications. I mean, cement, textiles, automotive, and now also the telecommunication and bringing in newer brands. Now, what was the thought process behind the strategy? You did explain that there was this opportunity in the market. And how does the automotive sector fit into the larger vision? Is there something yet behind the screens which we are not aware of, or how does it fit into that, into the group's success?
Okay. So Lucky Group has a track record of running businesses professionally and quite successfully.
Absolutely.
They did not have automotive experience, but they have the ability and the attitude of learning things very quickly and picking the right people for the project. This is what I would say the recipe of success for them is. Committing to something, learning things quickly, and picking the right people for the project.
Right.
And they are the force behind, they are the wisdom behind, though irrespective whether or not they know that particular sector or not, but they learn things quickly, the mechanics of that, how things work.
So before we go ahead, I want to know, what is the recipe for success? Faisal, tell us, because I'm sure our viewers want to hear that too.
Good question. So let me tell you one thing. A group has a track record of doing things professionally and quite successfully, irrespective of whether they have an experience of doing certain things or not. what they do is they learn things very quickly. Their attitude of learning things very quickly, and they pick the right people for the project. Another thing which is very important to share with you is that our group does not have a short-term thinking or strategy of taking a huge amount of dividends from out of the profit.
Right.
Rather, they have a long-term strategy and thinking of reinvesting into the existing businesses or diversify to create value for the shareholders.
Fantastic.
So automotive, I would say the group's vision is to become the largest and fastest growing business group in Pakistan. And automotive fits into their larger vision of becoming the largest and fastest growing business group of Pakistan.
Mm-hmm.
The recipe of success is learning things quickly and picking the right people for the project.
Mm-hmm. So bringing in Kia and Peugeot was a bold move in Pakistan.
Yes.
And how did you overcome any of the challenges when you did do this? Any challenges, particular challenges that you had to overcome to achieve the success that you have today? Because Kia has tried coming into Pakistan before. This is, I think, the third time?
This was the third
time.
Correct.
Why a success now?
Yes.
What was different?
Yeah, I think this is a very critical question. I think a lot of people some people are aware of it, but most of the people are not even aware of it. So when we conceived this project, the first question was whether we should do it or not. Because Kia's past two unsuccessful entries in Pakistan, so it was we were very skeptical about entering into the partnership with Kia because of the past two unsuccessful entries with other business groups. And we thought that if we enter and if it doesn't fly, our hard-earned money will be wasted and effort will be wasted. But since we kind of investigated and did research about it, and we carried out go-to-market study also. And on the basis of that go-to-market study, which we did later, but initial study conducted by myself, proved that to me, and on the basis of which I was able to convince the group that we should capitalize on this opportunity, because Kia is not that Kia which used to be in the past. Today's Kia is rocking in the global market, and they have been winning J.D. Power's initial quality study awards in a row for last 3 consecutive years. At that point in time, last 3 consecutive years, number 1 in IQS, initial quality study in a row in US market. Now, competing in US market is not easy.
Not at all.
You are in a small market and you are number 1 IQS studies, okay. But in US, where almost every brand exists, of the world exists, you have to be very, very competitive and top-notch in terms of quality. And you don't get IQS, J.D. Power, number 1 in a row in 3 consecutive years by fluke.
Yeah.
It has to be a confirmation of your performance. So, and also the family and friends of our sponsors, they also told them, and they got to know that we are potentially entering into this venture, that you should go for it, because Kia is doing wonders in the global market. They have been offering unlimited warranties. It means they have confidence in their products. You only give unlimited warranties to customers when you have faith and confidence in the quality of the product.
Yeah.
This is how, I would say, with a leap of faith. We were not even sure.
I think, because when you know that already a brand equity has been built in a market where people are not either lukewarm about it and they're not too aware about it. And I think the K-pop was not that famous either at that time. So bringing it for the third time, you did take a huge
risk.
Huge leap.
It was a huge risk. I would say even within our group, people were little unsure
more than little.
Unsure about, but since I would say I was fortunate that they had faith and trust in me, and it was, in my opinion, it was a big risk taken by anyone. Look, I have not seen in my 25 years of corporate world experience people like Muhammad Faisal and the family would take this kind of risk.
Your young heart can sustain this pressure, that we know.
Yes.
So great. No, and I think you were already being honed and trained in your own right for such a chance and a risk. And it being successful was not a fluke. I think the fact that you brought it into the market, you understood the needs at that particular time. People were understanding the concept of, SUVs and crossovers, and the need was growing. There was a lot of other brands coming out at the same time. So people were like confused. Okay, le to kaun sa le? But you stood out. And the fact that you have followed through 2-3 years down the road, I've seen it in, with my own experience. you keep us excited, and that's fantastic.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
One important aspect I would like to touch upon that as well was, so when we were deciding about the product, so it was one was signing up with Kia and Peugeot, and we signed up with Kia. There were some uncertainties, but we believed in this brand.
Yeah.
We had faith in this brand, and we thought we can turn this brand around in Pakistan.
Right.
And when we started this, like we were thinking of what would we launched as the first product in Pakistan market under Kia brand. So we were studying, and we carried out go-to-market study, which I just touched upon that. A detailed study was conducted by an independent consultancy firm, and what we kind of came up with was that in the global market, people are shifting from conventional sedans to SUVs.
Yes.
Kia's Sportage was doing wonders. It was the volume seller in global market, and in Pakistan, between the price range of 4 million rupees and 7 million rupees, there was no product as such available in SUV category. In the local, as I say,
Yes.
the SUV category is
Absolutely.
locally produced SUV category.
Absolutely.
That was that was a price point which was the right price point for us to launch any product as a first product of ours. And Sportage somehow was able to fit into that price bracket as SUV, which was like that kind of car was not available in Pakistan, or product wasn't available in Pakistan. The price point and Sportage was doing wonders in the global market. We chose that product as our first product, and it took market by storm. And it is,
as they say, it hit the ground running.
yes, correct.
Oh,
And it still is our star product. I think, if I won't be exaggerating when I say we have sold more than 75,000
in a short period
Kia
of what?
cars in a period of 5.5 years,
Wow.
out of which the bulk of the volume comes from Sportage. And I can proudly say that we are the only OEM in Pakistan, automotive OEM in Pakistan, who have sold the most number of cars in the first 5 years of their operations in the entire history of Pakistan's automotive. Entire history. I'm not saying just.
And look at this period. We're talking about period which is which had COVID,
Yes.
which had the economic recession, which had a lot of other things,
Correct.
and there you go.
Correct.
What a
So
great
even
success
in
story.
5 years, you take away this COVID period, you take away that semiconductor shortages, global supply chain disruptions. There was non-availability of vessels, non-availability of containers. You just take away everything from that 5 year period. We were left with only 2.53 years max.
Absolutely.
Doing it
Workable
in 3
years.
years, practical in 3 years, selling the kind of volumes no one else ever sold in Pakistan market was unheard of.
I hope you continue, and I'm glad you brought in other brands. Now, I'm going to switch gears a little bit, and I want to know a little bit about Samsung and getting into this industry, because is it like a sub-diversification strategy, looking at the larger vision? Tell me a little bit, how did you switch gears to Samsung?
Cool. So since we have had an infrastructure already here, like we set up Kia auto plant for Kia especially initially, but then we signed up with Peugeot, so we are producing Kia and Peugeot cars in our factory. We at the same time started setting up local auto parts manufacturing here as well, whereby we produce seat, wire harness, air conditioner, and plastic injection molding parts like seat, like bumpers and radiator
Of
grills
course.
within our factory, within our facility. Now, we had no clue that we would be entering into another segment, which is electronics. It is sub-diversification of LMC. So LMC, which is Lucky Motor, is a sub-conglomerate of Lucky Group. And in sub-conglomerate, there's further diversification, which is in the form of electronics business unit. So Samsung was looking for a partner in Pakistan
Yes, it
at
was.
that point in time, I would say in 2021.
Yeah.
And we started talking to them in, I would say, March 2021. That was the time there was semiconductors shortages in the global market.
Yes.
And we were suffering from, like, we had short supply, and our volumes were going down because we did not have enough supplies available. So automotive started going down, especially from our perspective. And it happened it's a coincidence that Samsung was knocking the doors and talking to parties. And it is a proud moment for us to share with you that we were one out of 12 parties who they evaluated. All of us, all 12 parties went through a rigorous evaluation round of negotiations, due diligence, on part of Samsung. So Samsung global team was carrying out the due diligence of 12 parties, 12 potential parties to become their potential partner in Pakistan. And we were chosen 1 out of 12. So they saw energy in us, they saw willingness and hunger in us, they saw our track record, they could see Kia cars on the roads. So they could confirm that they could like kind of identify very easily based upon our track record, our group's track record and performance, that we are the right people for them to do business with. And we were given a task to set up this factory in 4 months record time. This was one of the preconditions.
You must have said, "Oh, I know how that is done.
It's
I'm so good at working under pressure.
So we told them,
bring it on."
Yeah, so we told them 2 things. We said, look, it's not a problem for us, while others said no. So frankly speaking, it's on record.
So I think that is
They talked to
a factor.
the partner, they said, it's impossible. Setting up electronic facility, Samsung facility, which was not just facility, it has to
standards.
It's rich, stringent standards of quality and dust proofing and whatnot. We said it's doable because we have a track record of setting up automotive factory in a year and 6 months only. And we set up dealership network of 26 across 16 cities of Pakistan, Kia dealership network over a period of 3 years only. So we were setting up dealership every 4 months. So we said we can do it. And we were chosen and we actually did it. So we broke the ground, I exactly remember, in August, and we completed factory in November.
Wow. So and you were just starting to talk in March.
Exactly 4 months.
Fantastic.
The factory. So it was sub-diversification, it was group strategy to now enter into electronics, especially a partner with brands like Samsung, because Samsung is world's largest smartphone producer and world's 5th largest global brand after Apple, Google, Amazon, and Microsoft. The 5th largest global brand is Samsung.
Fantastic.
So partnering with Samsung was another door opener for us. It's not only Samsung mobile phones. We could see an opportunity for the long haul. So this was a conscious decision, but I would say it turned out to be one of the best decisions of our group.
Great. You can tell me your next secret now. I won't tell anyone. This is so exciting. It's like you're watching a movie and now what next? And I don't think you'll do anything which is going to be easy to do. It will be one of those things. And the fantastic thing is that how you're enhancing the economy of Pakistan, how you are adding to that.
Yes.
And I think we need young blood, young leaders, young CEOs like you, yourself. Let's do a little crazy thing, which is called a fire rapid round, only because we get to know a little bit about you. So I'm going to give you 2 things. You're going to immediately tell me what do you have more of a tendency towards. Okay? So, and listening to your story, I think this one will be really interesting to know. Are you more of a data guy or an intuition guy?
Intuition.
I knew it. So, would you rather see yourself at the factory floor or the boardroom?
Factory floor.
Okay. Risk taker, risk averse.
Risk taker.
Of course, that I knew. Books or podcasts?
Podcast.
Okay. Netflix or cinemas?
Netflix.
Leaders who care for people or leaders who care for profit?
People.
Okay. Great. Because you did talk a lot about having the right people on the right, seats, the right
by your side,
Tim Collins.
look, money, profit is a consequence.
Yeah.
If you have right people by your side, they do miracles. People by our side did miracle.
Wow.
We hired people who were young, who did not have experiences of setting up a project of this sort. I did not have experience of doing it.
Of course.
We learned very quickly because we had attitude of doing things like that. So you have right people by your side, you will be profitable. Money will be a consequence.
Yeah. Okay, and being a number guy and good at it, you can calculate all the profits, huh? Fantastic. So finally, what I'd like you to leave is a message with our audience, with our young leaders who are aspiring to be, aspiring to reach excellence, to do what you've done, leave a legacy, touch the areas that they go through in a way which transforms other people as well. You're not just transforming, but you're transforming people who work with you. What message would you like to leave for them so that they can create meaningful impact and navigate the challenges that they have in their life, especially in today's world.
Hmm.
So what kind of a message would you like to leave for aspiring leaders?
Okay, so a couple of things around this message. Number one is take calculated risks, take chances. I think a lot of people don't take chances. People like to be complacent, they want to be in their comfort zone, they don't want to be disturbed. You only grow when you get disturbed.
True.
When you go outside your comfort zone.
Disruption.
Yes. So take chances, take calculated risks. Important thing which I would advocate would be build more leaders, build people, develop people. And this is how you leave a legacy which is lasting.
True.
This world is the survival of the fittest. So you need to keep upping your game. Continuously keep upping your game. Keep studying your competition. Keep studying new technology. And never underestimate your competition. And if you ask me, as you asked me, what is going to be a challenge going forward, like companies like ours, you have to remain competitive. The product, the price, the specification, and the most important thing is customer experience. Look, now as we speak, almost everyone in automotive sector is offering good quality products, world-renowned specifications, good-looking, styling wali gaadiyan. But the only thing which is going to differentiate us from the crowd will be a customer handling, a customer experience.
Customer advantage. What is the customer advantage as opposed to the competitive advantage? You need to fulfill their needs. I think that's great. And if you already have your eye on the ball, I'm sure you'll be rolling in the right direction.
And you have to be in the hearts of the customer, not in the minds of the customer.
And one tip I can leave for such aspiring leaders is to work with people like yourself. Because when you see energy, you get energized. And our young generation has so much creativity. They have so much that they want to give. And I think they need people like you to be able to collaborate with. And
so the young generation needs people like I was fortunate to have gotten people like who are taking chances on me. So they
mentors.
So if people take chances on them, and you take chances not on everyone, you see something, some spark.
Of course, yeah.
So when you show that positive attitude, you want to burn your midnight oil, you want to do crazy things, you want to do crazy things, and you don't want to settle on something which is mediocre.
For less. You don't want to settle for less. No.
Allah has given us a huge potential. It's only, and I did not know that I have this potential until I...
Did you know anything about cars? No. Did you know anything about phones and cellular phones? I mean, look at this.
No. And
wow.
One good thing which I would say as an outcome of all this experience that I had is I got the entrepreneurship experience. This was one thing which was missing. I always wanted, it's not that entrepreneurship means you do your own business. It doesn't mean that.
You set up something from ground up.
So conceiving something right from ground zero, from the beginning, on papers only, convincing somebody to believe in that project, offer yourself to do that project. That's your real test, because you can convince anyone to do the project, but if you're not committing yourself for that, means you're not believing that. So you commit to that project and make it successful. That's important.
See it to the end, like follow through. The follow through aspect is very important. उसके लिए ना थोड़ा सा जज्बे के साथ साथ एक यकीन की भी बहुत जरूरत होती है. And I think आप जैसे stories अगर हम पढ़े सुने, and when our viewers will be listening to this, they will also get that sense कि I think we need to go out and take the risk.
And it's what we do, because look, I could see today. I can see the benefits of that. Today I have all the benefits which I could anticipate in the early age of my career that I should be here. I never targeted CFO position as my end journey. I always targeted this position as the beginning of my journey. So this is not the end of my journey.
This is the beginning. The beginning. Yeah, and since I have seen you many years ago, and now it's very, very heartening to see how you have made this difference, bringing in this change. You're enabling people, and you're creating leaders. Thank you so much, Faisal. It's absolutely, the pleasure has been all mine. It's so inspiring. Just listening to you, I want to live my life all over again and bring that that risk taking element. I've learned so much just by listening to you, and we're looking forward to the next episode.
Sure. But I would like to acknowledge one thing over here as well. While I shared my journey and success story, there is an impact of your training that I went through back in 2008-9 when I was part of Toyota, and this training was conducted, 7 habits of highly effective people, and I was one of the participants there. And there are 2-3 things which I learned from you, and I practice those and I preach those today even. So I cannot discount that. Your training also contributed to my success.
No,
It did.
and FranklinCovey will be very happy to hear that. And you are like that drop in the ocean that is creating that ripple, because now everybody in your organization is getting, what you've learned and how you expanding that I think is fantastic.
Thank you.
Best of luck, and we are rooting for you.
Inshallah.
Thank you so much,
Inshallah.
Faisal,
Thank you very much.
for the Hafiz.